starting off, I start to get an income stream, and if I don't look at it or look after it, it could affect the next stages in my life. So I've got to be very careful and say, in the next couple of years after graduation, this is where it could all go wrong. As things happen in the next few years, one must take a wider look at it. Let's take marriage as an example. We can look at that and say, very easy. In fact, you can get married in a week if you want to. What's the problem? And in the old days, we'd say, what happens if there's the liability? We get divorced, and there's a 1 in 3 chance that's going to happen. Let's be positive about it. Let's say you're going to live, and everybody's going to be happy. The problem is that we're going to have to look and say, it's no longer just about providing for a spouse and children. We also have to look and say, what's happening about our parents, the so-called baby boomer generation, who don't have a big enough pension and whose only resort it is to come back and live with their children. Are they going to move in with you? Is this going to be a problem? If so, it is better to recognize it up front so that it can be dealt with. And that's why we've got to put on a broader hat when we're thinking about planning for the future. These are unforeseen problems and that can occur. We need to start going with computer tools. In the old days, drawing up a budget was an absolute nightmare. You had to get out the calculator. Some even did it on Abacus. It was ridiculous. It went on forever. Today we get Excel spreadsheets which are provided by the major financial institutions, and you have to get together and start analyzing your income and expenses, your income from your occupation, your partner's income, what you're going to spend it on, bond, house, communication, transport, household expenses, healthcare, education, recreation. All of these things have to be added up to get down to what is your net disposable income for the month, i.e., how much of the month is left at the end of the money. Now, it's a much easier process than it was in the past because we've got computers to add it all up for us, and we can run little what-if scenarios as we go along. That's absolutely fun and, in fact, for some people quite exciting. Others will turn around and say, we're not interested. We are not keeping budgets. That's what accountants do. The hard reality of it is that you have to keep a budget today. Your financiers will require it before they are in a position to lend you any money, and your financial advisors will not be able to help you unless they can understand more or less what your life is about. So, number one, as we get going in this whole thing, on the day that we get our first paycheck, we have to start a budget. And we have to remember that is all we need to get going is a brain. That's what you've been working on all these years. That's great. You've got it banked. But a brain can only last for 4 minutes without your health. And that's the thing that we've got to look after. That's the big problem that we have in South Africa today, is that we're not looking after our health properly. A smoking problem, for example, or a drinking problem, is a problem because it affects your ability to keep your brain going. And without that, you can't make money. Now, people live healthier today, but the big problem that we get is that if your health goes for some or other unfortunate reason, we cannot rely on state to look after us. There, even if disabled, we will receive a pension of about 1,000 rands per month, and that will be it. There are 1.4 million disabled people in South Africa today, and only 27,000 of them have a job. This is why it is so important for the graduate to ensure their health. Because they are young and graduates, they represent a good health risk, and consequently, the cost of income protection insurance is very low. But ensuring your health is one of the critical things that you must do immediately upon graduation. The next thing that we've got to say, to get it right, we need time. Time is an essential feature of any financial planning. What we are saying is we need time for the eighth wonder of the world, the compounding effect of money, to take its course. and to allow money to work for us instead of us working for money. And the final thing that you need in a career is your address. And that's not where you live, that's your email address and your cell phone number and your Skype numbers or other social media addresses so that people can keep in contact with you. Those are the 4 blocks of a career. But there's a problem. There is a problem when denial takes over from time. Now, many South Africans think denial is a river in North Africa. No, denial is simply procrastinating and not accepting the responsibility of looking after your finances. When we deny that there is an obligation to look after your finances, we delay the amount of time that we have available to make our money work for us. And that, at the end of the day, overwhelms absolutely everything. And that is the biggest problem that we've got to face in the future. We've got to acknowledge, starting off in a career, you need your degrees, you've got them, make certified copies and keep them in a safe place. You've opened a bank account already. You have an email address and you'll have your health, but that needs to be insured. So we have to take health insurance as well. The rest of it, everything else, can come with time as you do your research and as you go down the way. And we don't have to rush everything. We've got 50 years almost in employment, and that's a lot of time to make as many mistakes as you want. You don't have to make them all in the first couple of years. So, we must ask ourselves a question. Would we be our own doctor and look after our own health, or build our own house without an architect, or fix our own modern car without the computer software or the mechanic there to help us? No, we wouldn't. That would be absurd. But it is amazing how many people seek to run their finances all on their own. The very thing that drives all the good things in life, they try and do it all by themselves instead of using a financial advisor. Yes, you can go onto the internet and you can Google financial advice or investment products and you'll get umpteen million responses. But which one do you use? Are you using the right product for the type of person that you are? Everybody has a different profile. And the job of a financial advisor is to come in and have a look and do your lifestyle profile. From that profile, then you can get some idea of the financial products that suit you in your career.